Hi everyone, and welcome to the Drum Magazine Groove Analysis video lesson. The current issue of Drum Magazine has several transcriptions from the band Shinedown, and for the purpose of this video, I picked one called Black Soul.
Wake
After the electronic, tension-building intro, Barry hits us with so much energy in his groove that it feels like there's a train coming at you. At the same time, when you look at the transcription, you might think, meh, there's not really much to it, it's easy. But it's quite the opposite. These few measures are packed with so much educational material that it's definitely worth diving into. Let's do it. Just in the first two measures, there are at least three things that are definitely worth talking about. Straight eighth notes on the crash, even in volume, without accenting the top of the beat or any other hits that might be with the snare drum or a bass drum, is definitely contributing to the power of this opening groove. In both measures, we have 3/16th note bass drums in a row. That itself is not technically as difficult, but to capture the right feel and make sure they're all even, it takes a little bit of practice. Music is an art that allows us to express our feelings. So many times just changing the way we think about certain phrase makes a huge impact on the feel, without doing anything different mechanically. Think about the 3 bass drums in a row as a phrase, and make yourself focus mentally on the last one, much rather than the first one. This itself will improve the feel enormously. But if you want to experience exactly what I'm talking about, try to drop your heel down after the third hit and practice this for a while, then go back to the way you would normally play it, and you will notice that all 3 bass drums are much more even than they were before. At the end of the first 2 measures, there's a quarter note in unison between floor tom and the snare drum. Easiest thing ever, right? Not quite. Think about it this way. Both of our arms prior to that quarter note are in a completely different heights and different positions. Our right hand is coming off a crash and our left hand is right above the snare drum. So how do we make sure that we hit them exactly at the same time? I came up with this exercise that helped most of my students make this very easy. As soon as you're coming down, you don't use a rebound, but you poke both drums. That way you physically feel both surfaces where they actually are. After you practice this a couple times, go back to regular rebound and you'll be surprised how much easier it gets. In the fourth measure, we have 4 30-second notes at the end as a fill. Our stick height difference might yet again be a reason that the fill's not going to come out as even as we would like it to. So let's try this simple, as I call it, a repositioning exercise, when after the last crash, you move your right hand down to the same height as your left stick is, without hitting the snare. That way, you prepare yourself for dynamically even fill. and seventh measure present a completely different challenge. The seventh measure is a lot more syncopated, and we usually tend to throw in extra accents on the crash just to make it easier to play through. But we have to keep in mind that the previous measure established a feel, groove, and drive that needs to carry through the seventh measure as well. So it does always feel like it's part of the same song. The last measure of our transcription gives us another chance to poke the drums. Play the last two measures over and over again and keep switching between poking and actually using your rebound on those 4 notes in unison. Have fun. See you next time.